The human brain is protected by the skull and also by three membranes called as meninges. The meninges are the dura mater, the arachnoid mater, and the pia mater. Now in between the arachnoid and the pia mater, that is the inner two layers, you will find a fluid is secreted called as the cerebrospinal fluid. It prevents any shocks. It's like a shock absorber of the brain. An infection of these meninges causes brain fever, which is meningitis. Nature has bestowed upon us a double protection, skull externally and below the skull the meninges. Now look at this highly folded portion of the brain, the cerebrum, the forebrain. It's the larger brain. These folds are called as the gyri. These depressions are the sulci. The cerebrum, in fact, is made up of two lobes, the cerebral lobes. They are joined by a band of nerve fibers called as the corpus callosum. Have a look at the corpus callosum. The outer region of the cerebrum is made up of grey matter and the inner region is made up of white matter. We'll have a closer look to see the different areas and the functions performed by them. The cerebrum has different lobes. Have a look. This is the frontal lobe, the largest of the four lobes, and in fact it makes up 1/3 of each cerebral hemisphere. Behind the frontal lobe is the parietal lobe. This blue portion is the parietal lobe. Just below the parietal lobe is the occipital lobe, and below the frontal lobe you can find is the temporal lobe. There are gyri and sulci which distinctly demarcate the four lobes of the cerebrum. Remember, each of these lobes has a sensory and a motor area which performs specific functions. The motor areas lie in the frontal lobe. They control movement of specific muscles and also control voluntary movements. The size of the motor area in the cortex depends upon the complexity of the movements involved. Hence, the control areas for hand, legs, etc. varies. Stimulation of any point in this area will result in the contraction of muscles on the opposite side of the body. This can be further classified as primary motor area. It controls specific groups of muscles, and damage to any muscle in that particular area can paralyze the muscles which are being controlled by that area, and that is how one suffers from a stroke or a paralysis. The premotor area is yet another area in the frontal lobe. It is connected with all learned motor activities like when you write. It's often also called the memory bank for skilled activities. Damage to this area can cause loss of motor skills that are programmed for this region. But muscle strength may not be affected. We have another motor speech area. It is also located in our frontal lobe. It controls muscles of the larynx, pharynx, tongue. Injury to this area can cause inability of speech. From the motor areas, now let us move on to the sensory areas which are present in the parietal lobe, in the temporal lobe, and also in the occipital lobe. The principal sensory areas are the general sensory area, or the primary area of sensation, is located in the parietal lobe. What is its function? It receives impulses from the skin, muscles and viscera in the various parts of the body for heat, cold, touch and pressure. We move on to the primary visual area, and that takes us to the occipital lobe. It receives impulses from the eyes, interprets the shape, the color and the movement. The removal of visual centers can cause blindness. We move on now to the primary auditory area, which is located in the temporal lobe. It interprets basic characteristics of sound such as pitch, rhythm. Its stimulation by a blow causes the sensation of noise perceived in this area of the temporal lobe. If any part of the temporal lobe is affected, it can also lead to deafness. The primary olfactory area is also located in the temporal lobe. It interprets the sensation of smell. So remember, temporal lobe is connected both with hearing and smelling. In contrast, the occipital lobe was responsible for vision. The parietal lobe gave us sensations of temperature, touch, pressure and pain. And all our intelligent activities and movements of muscles are controlled by the frontal lobe. What about association areas? These areas link the sensory and the motor areas in the cerebral cortex as we just studied. They are responsible for memory, thought, reasoning, learning, language, judgment, intelligence and many other things. Let's study the other parts also visible. We'll take up yet another part of the forebrain, that is the diencephalon. The diencephalon is made up of the thalamus. Just below the thalamus, you can see is the hypothalamus. In fact, the hypothalamus is made up of mammillary bodies, the optic chiasma and the infundibulum. The midbrain actually is made up of optic lobes. Well, on the dorsal side of the brain, the optic lobes are present and these are not visible on the ventral side, but their function is to control vision. You have the cerebral peduncles. Now, two ventral portions of these are distinctly separate and they form the crura cerebri. The cerebral peduncles and two portions of the hindbrain, namely the pons. Have a look at the pons. And the medulla oblongata right below it. Pons and medulla oblongata are the part of the hindbrain, but along with the portion of the midbrain, that is the cerebral peduncles, the pons and the medulla oblongata, they form what is called as the brain stem. The cerebral peduncles act as coordination centers between the forebrain and the hindbrain. Now moving on to the hindbrain. You can see a cabbage-like structure here. It is the cerebellum. It is also made up of left and right cerebellar hemispheres. What is the function of the cerebellum? Well, it regulates posture, all postural activities, muscle tone, coordination, maintenance of balance, equilibrium is affected or taken care of by the cerebellum. A drunkard, have you seen him walk? He staggers. Why? Because that equilibrium and control has been affected because those drinks have affected the cerebellum. What about the function of the medulla oblongata? It is that part which connects the brain with the spinal cord. It plays a very important role. It contains vital centers that control the heartbeat, respiration, blood pressure. It has also centers for swallowing, coughing, vomiting. If you by chance happen to strike someone on their back, it can be very dangerous. The medulla oblongata, its link with the spinal cord, can be cut off, which can lead to instantaneous death.